Hi, I'm Allie Hoekstra. I'm a nurse practitioner student. Thank you for joining me for a few moments to talk about a very important initiative, early hearing detection and intervention. This is an opportunity to invest in the future now and will save money and quality of life in the future. Early identification of hearing loss in children is important because children begin learning speech and language in the first 6 months of life. So what happens with hearing loss? There's a significant impact on children. It causes delays in their development of receptive and expressive communication skills. The resulting language deficits will lead to learning problems that result in reduced academic achievement. The communication difficulties often lead to social isolation and poor self-regard, and resulting hearing loss can impact vocational choices. The earlier children with hearing loss start getting their services, the more likely they are to reach their full potential. Screening itself is simple. It's easy, it's painless, it only takes a few minutes. A little history about newborn infant screening in the United States. The first federal program was established in 1999, and at that time, less than 10% of newborns were being screened. The result of that was that almost half of the children who did have hearing loss weren't diagnosed till they were at least 3 years of age or older, long past the critical time in their communication and language development. Now, because of these programs that were started 20 years ago, as of 2017, almost 98% of newborns are being screened for hearing loss each year. So what's the latest? The Early Hearing Detection and Intervention Act was signed into law in 2017. It amended the Public Health Services Act to continue an initiative that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has collaboratively with some of their optives, including the CDC and the National Institutes of Health, to ensure that all 50 states and the District of Columbia have programs in place for newborn hearing screening, much like they screen for certain genetic conditions like PKU, for example. It also authorized specific changes to support identifying children who are at risk of losing their hearing during their childhood for other reasons. But when this was signed into act in 2017, it only extended the act through 2022. That's only 2 years from now. Given the progress that's been made in the last 20 years, I propose we need to extend this act for at least another 10 years beyond that, through 2032. This needs to be addressed as a matter of public policy. But how do we fund it? Well, cost effectiveness with respect to quality of life has never been a criterion for policy in the United States, generally speaking. It's hard to monetize quality of life. What we can look at is what we spend on public education. And specialized education cost studies that have been conducted have shown substantial amounts in education costs that can be saved as a result of early intervention that allows children to be in mainstream programs. 2 such studies, for example, one shows a 36% reduction in the special education costs. The other compares the Department of Education's numbers of annual costs of education for 1 year in a mainstream classroom as $3,400 approximately, as compared to $9,700 and almost $36,000 in a separate self-contained classroom or residential placement approach. Those numbers, although all children who are hearing impaired cannot be mainstreamed, and I don't intend to suggest that. However, if only 2 to 5% of the children with hearing loss could be in mainstream classrooms, that more than pays for the cost of early detection screening programs. Thank you again for your time. And here are the references supporting the information that I've cited and shared with you today. Thank you.